Like there's just like so much joy, and then there are moments where like I kind of don't like what he's doing, but then
Yeah.
there's times when I do. So
I would love to expand into my own lifestyle brand.
Stick to the plan. Why don't you go out there and promote your film?
It's a videotape.
Whatever it is.
He doesn't care.
I'm the original her. You stole from me.
No, this is my routine.
What do we say about that anger of yours?
That it's bad vibes.
Super bad vibes.
this is probably going to be a very loaded question, so I'm going to do my best to try to navigate this. But I love that this season has a little bit of a different energy and flow to it. Like last season when we talked about, Craig Gillespie coming in, keeping the camera moving. And while the camera does move here, depending on where Sheila's at, it does take some time to kind of like pump the brakes and allow the characters to experience things. So we get full frames and things like that. So it's so fitting to the theme of self-care. And I wonder what those conversations were like in trying to develop the visual language for this particular season and shaking things up a little bit to kind of give power to other areas of storytelling.
Yeah, it's such a good question. There's so many great collaborators on the show that add elements to the storytelling. And, our director this season, Stephanie Lang, was such a great partner to me in giving us a visual language for the evolution of this character. So, in the first season, we were in this frenetic headspace of really her holding on to this turbulent inner life, and she's holding on for dear life. And, you felt that with the movement of the camera. As she starts to evolve this season and she starts to kind of address these core issues and just really go on this healing journey, the camera movement changes. There's a lot more stillness in the season. There's a lot more composed moments. There's some frames that really kind of, you might not be thinking of or aware of, that kind of give you a sense of this person's growth and change. Yeah. And, especially as we get deeper into the season and we see her really kind of confronting some issues and achieving some real healing, you really start to see that in the camera movement, in the music, in the costumes. This is one of the great things about getting to make a TV show at this level and working with really high level collaborators, that everybody adds an element to that that contributes to the storytelling.
Yeah, I think I probably didn't really notice the movement until probably the very last episode of this season, but I don't want to get too much into it.
Yeah, I will say, because I do love talking about the filmmaking too, is that, the show is primarily shot in Steadicam, if you care about these things. And we really do about, in the season one, almost 90% Steadicam, which just means that Rose's primary relationship is with the camera, right? That's like her dance partner. But one of the things she's embracing this season is kind of breaking out of her isolation, and she's connecting with others. And so that really relates to how we shoot it as well, because it's no longer just her and the camera, it's her and other people in the frame. So it's a little wider. And, that kind of tracks her growth as well.
I am committed to growing my business.
You have a following.
But I don't have this.
Are you marching? Are you breathing?
I control my own name. I control my own business. And nobody tells me what to do or say.
So this season is so much about growth, realization, and authenticity. Like the characters are recognizing themselves for who they are and the image that they try to uphold, and that image comes down a bit. So what did this season teach you about being your most authentic self?
I think that this season it was more relevant to my own personal life that I could draw on in terms of where Danny Rubin's at. In season one, with these political aspirations and wanting to win this election, that I can't say that I've ever run for something. So it's not like that I could just draw from a personal experience and say that's exactly how I would feel about it. But in season 2, where all that has sort of just been washed away, and now Danny's main focus is his daughter and his wife, you know, that's directly relevant to my personal life at my house. So I think I was able to sort of draw on what that feels like, and who I feel like as a father, and if I feel like I'm doing enough as a husband. And I hope when people watch season 2 that they walk away feeling like, oh, we got a different version of a Danny this season. We got someone that's more mature and kind of not maybe fully realizing the errors of his ways, but realizing like, oh, I could step it up. I haven't been the greatest, and I haven't been the most available.
So is Danny tricky? Was, I guess in particular this season, was he tricky to navigate? No, pretty much speaking to exactly what you were saying. Like, he does have these moments of realization. Like, there's like grand moments of like Greta saying, I dropped off the kids with Danny, and he's so completely overwhelmed. And then there's just like really fun moments of him like talking to somebody in the gym saying like, my knuckles are all bloody. Like there's just like so much joy. And then there are moments where like I kind of don't like what he's doing, but then there's times when I do. So I'm just wondering like what's kind of going through your head as you try to flip the switch a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's kind of it's a fun challenge because he is kind of a big child, but there is something about knowing like, all right, where is he at in terms of this personal growth? Where is he at emotionally, and what is he sort of aware of in his personal life? And then at the same time, you know, kind of like you're saying, when he does something like needing to show people that his knuckles are bleeding, or when he says the wrong thing. To me, what makes that fun is you just go, you look at it, well, this is the elements of, you know, someone who's human. Like, even when we try to change and grow and be better people, there is still this sort of bedrock of who we are that we can't fully get rid of in terms of like our instincts. So for me in season 2, it was kind of fun to know that stepping away from the immaturity wasn't going to be about an election or an ego-driven satisfaction of people loving him, but more so him going like, oh, I really do love my wife, and I actually really am proud of her for succeeding in the way that she has, and oh my God, my kid is awesome, and I do actually care about her education and what she's, you know, involved in. It was cool to get to sort of play both those worlds.
Yeah. And I'll cut you loose on this. Probably my favorite episode of this season is episode 7. I don't want to reveal a lot of what happens in that, but I just really took to this moment of Danny getting some information from Sheila and like just being told something, and then he just kind of gives into the moment and has an exercise moment with her, which was really beautiful with the songs. And I'm just curious, like what you were feeling at the time and how liberating it was for you, or I guess for Danny, to be able to do something like that.
Well, I first off, I like that it felt that way for you. I like that you know, that was the intended target of that scene, so someone would watch it and actually feel that, like, that good feeling that you're talking about it. And so I think stepping into that scene, I was like, oh man, I know I'm going to feel ridiculous doing the aerobics. I can't really do aerobics. Me personally, I'm wildly out of shape, so this won't be very easy to do. But at the same time, it's like, well, how do you take this character who maybe wouldn't do this thing and put them in it and really try to play it enough where it comes off as genuine, and it comes off as honest and supportive. And so, yeah, I think when I stepped into that, I just I was like, well, just dance and try to really be there. If you really were going to dance to support somebody, what would that look like and feel like? And I got to say, you describing it the way you just did, that feels good, because that's what I think we were all hoping it would feel like.
Annihilation. Too long. I was starting to worry that
relax. I mean, you think they'd sell these things if they weren't safe?
Yeah, that makes sense.